Hello and welcome to the Lost Art Podcast. I'm Garen, I'm here with Helmet.
How are you?
This week, we're going to do something a little bit different. So, we were looking at...
Well, should we say why we're doing it?
Yes.
I was talking to a few people, like, they were said, oh, I heard you got a podcast. I'm like, yeah, I've got a podcast. It's about music and stuff, I like music. And all I ever hear is, I only listen to podcasts about serial killers and people who have died and crime. Like, that's cool. That's fine. Then don't tell me that.
Yeah.
Don't tell me not listen to it. Ask me about it and then say, I'll listen to it. That's fine. Now listen, that's grand. But we're maybe being a little slightly bitter.
A tiny
bit. A little bit bitter. Podcasts are all about serial killers and death and
well,
whatever.
Nowadays they are.
Nowadays.
It seems to be. Yeah,
so we're having a bit of a...
We're taking a little punt on something a little bit different. So everybody we talk to, like, they listen to podcasts, like I said, about serial killers and true crime.
True crime. They're fascinated about,
Evil.
death and stuff like that.
Evil malarkey is what they're interested in.
Yeah.
So we said, let's do it. Let's have a crack at it. We can do this. So what we've done something a little bit interesting. We've combined our podcast with other people's podcasts. Is what we've done. So this week we're going to do killers.
Yes.
People in bands and groups and music in general who have gone out of their way.
No, not necessarily out of their way. Listen, they were involved in a death.
Yes.
Now, I want to say this, that actually some of these opened my eyes to the fact that some of these people were not really at fault. Yes. And I thought they were. Because I'll go into that more, but actually my eyes were open, so calling them killers now might seem a little bit... Listen,
they were involved in a death somehow. Yeah. Let's just say that.
But it's very divisive and it's very clickbaity. But that's what it's all about nowadays,
that's what we're
man.
Here to do.
That's what it's all about. But hopefully there will be actually some justice for some of the people in this. Not the people who died, probably.
Quite possibly. But anyway, hit us with your first one. Who's your first one?
Keith Moon.
Okay.
In 1970. Now, just before I go into this, I had heard Keith Moon drove into someone when he was drunk. That's all I ever heard about. Yeah. And I was like, all right, that's kind of shitty. Blah, blah, blah. So the reason I picked him is because he's one of the famous people who were involved in a death. Now, I have to say, straight off the bat, the more I read into it, it's not, I wouldn't call him a killer.
Tragic accident.
It was tragic. So in 1970, Moon and his wife and a few friends were at the opening of a pub. And Keith Moon goes in. It's a very kind of working class area. Lots and lots of skinheads in there. He's drinking brandies instead of beer. He drives in a Bentley. They're not into it. Apparently they hate all that, you know what I mean? So he's getting a bit of stick in there. Closing time comes. They get back into the Bentley. Yeah. They start the punks come out and start shaking the Bentley.
Okay. And
threatening them, throwing coins and all of that. His chauffeur, I think his name is Neil. It's Neil Boland. He's also security firm. Okay. You know what I mean? All in one. He gets out, try and sort it. Then they can't see him anymore. Yeah. So they get freaked out. And
he gets swept up in the maelstrom of people.
Yeah. So Moon decides, I'm getting into the car and driving. Yeah. So he drives down the road. Unfortunately, the chauffeur was under the car. Oh. That's fucking horrible. Now, he was drunk, obviously. I mean, they were all drunk. It's really had a chauffeur, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
So, it's kind of really, really, really sad because he had no idea until he was halfway down the road.
Really?
That it was what the story was.
Dirt.
And that must have been absolutely horrible. He was charged with his death. Yeah. Drunk driving without a license or insurance. Again, those are things that were going to be the case before this thing happened. 6 weeks later, it was ruled out that it was a death by accidental. It unfortunately haunted him for the rest of his life, which would probably have contributed to his death in some shape or form. Maybe. In terms of him being bananas on the drinking drugs and all that. Like, it's not going to leave you. No. So I'm actually glad I found out more about that because that's kind of a... You know, take what you want from that. Yeah. The information that I've given there, the information that I found. That's not someone deciding to drive drunk, I don't think, in a certain sense. I mean, would you be fearing for your life?
Well, if you're surrounded by a bunch of skinheads
and one guy gets out and he goes missing into the big foray.
I don't know. Like, it's like Keith Moon his loss was very tragic. Like Keith Moon was
unbelievable drummer.
When I was a kid, more so than like the Beatles and the Stones, I was always more of a Who fan than anything else. They always, I prefer the songs, I prefer the musicianship, and then when the internet was around, and you got to see videos of Keith Moon drumming and doing his own thing, And the fact he was like, he was just, I don't think he'd even played drums before he joined the Who. There was loads of weird stuff going on. He just had his own way of doing things. But like, for a guy that was obviously mentally a little bit unstable to begin with, it wouldn't take much to push you over the edge. And that was more than much.
If your wife is in the car, you're absolutely locked and you think you're going to get smashed up and killed and dragged out and go missing just like the thing did. Yeah, listen, putting that down to a very tragic... Feels a bit bad putting someone on a killer's name. Yeah. But listen, this is what we're doing right now. Who is your one?
My first one is a guy called Spade Cooley.
Please say you killed someone on purpose.
Yes. So, Spade Cooley was like... He was involved in what they call the American Western Swing movement. So it was like country music, but a little bit more upbeat, kind of danceable, fucking barn music. Now, he was known in that scene. He was very well known in that scene. He had a bunch of like top 10 singles in the States and all this kind of stuff. But what's more interesting about Spade Cooley is that he also got involved in making Western movies. Now, he was born in 1910. So it would have been around the 50s. Late 50s, early 60s, he was doing a bunch of movies. Now, he started off just...
Acting or just directing?
Acting, yeah. So he was more of a bit part kind of guy for a while. And he was like a stand-in. And he'd done a little bit of stunt work. He was just whatever they needed.
Yeah.
So the most famous person that he worked with was Roy Rogers. He'll be like one of the big names in the Western kind of cowboy and Indian kind of movies.
If you were old enough, you wouldn't mention John Wayne as you'd say Roy Rogers.
Roy Rogers, yeah. He was the kind of the daddy of them all.
Yeah.
So he was a stand-in for Roy Rogers at the start, which meant that like if there was just scenes from behind or whatever, that's what the director would use so Roy could have the day off or whatever. Off the back of this, he got a little bit more work and eventually got little bit parts and tiny little talking scenes in the kind of Western movies back then. Yeah. Now, this led to him having more...
A real gun.
Not even. This led to him having more and more kind of... more of a Hollywood influence. And eventually he ended up with a variety show on television. So, in 1948, he was hosting this variety show.
A variety show is something like what Jill Tolland has, one of those kind of things? Yeah, right.
So he had guests like Frank Sinatra and whoever you can think of, like, would have been on his variety show. He would have been a big, big name in America at the time. Like, he has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Spade Cooley, right? That's how big he was and important at the time. Now, it gets real grim from this point onwards. That's what the people want to hear. Yeah. Apparently. He thought that his wife was having an affair, right? So, he obviously wasn't happy. Now, apparently, he was a fucking
She's cheating on me,
Yeah, exactly. Now, by all accounts, he was a scumbag as well, right? He was having affairs left, right and centre, all over the place.
But affairs, he's talking about an affair that he wasn't involved in.
Exactly. It wasn't his affair.
Zero crack for him.
Exactly. He's having none.
Time to kill.
So, he files for divorce. He files for divorce. Oh, grimness. Files for divorce, and he wanted custody of his children. He was like, that fucking dirty bitch can't have the kids. She can't have the kids, eh?
She?
Yeah. So, apparently it wasn't going well for him in court, because the wife was like, listen, like, I had one affair, and he's had hundreds. Like, but I still love my children.
I didn't even finish.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even get to finish my affair.
So warm.
Turns out, exactly. It turns out she was having an affair with Roy Rogers. When. She's having an affair.
Pistols at dawn, sunshine.
For real, right? So the 3 kids. What happens? This is fucking grim. She goes off to collect the kids or something from his house or drop the kids off at his house during the separation, right? Loses his fucking marbles, right? Starts battering her with his hands, fists, feet, whatever, right?
Hands and fists.
He literally beats his wife to death in front of his 14-year-old daughter.
No, don't be doing that.
Yeah, right? Beats her to death. While she's on the floor, lights up a cigarette, smokes a cigarette, and starts stabbing the cigarette out on her.
Jesus.
To make sure that she's dead.
Yeah, he's definitely a scumbag.
100%.
I mean, I knew it before with the whole death thing.
Yeah,
that really puts the fine on it.
So he killed his wife in front of the child's mother. And then when the cops arrived, because they heard the screaming and shouting, he tried to say that she slipped in the shower. He started telling the cops, she slipped in the shower. That's what's after happening to her.
Yeah.
Now, the cops they didn't really believe this.
Because she was an ashtray.
Yeah. She had cigarettes put in it, and the kid was there as well. The kid said, listen, Daddy fucking killed Mammy. He went to jail. He, first degree murder, he was spared death. He didn't get the death sentence because he claimed temporary insanity or something like that. And he got away with it, and he was given a life sentence. Yeah. Now he was given this is real fucked up. He was given a furlough about 9 years into his life sentence to go and perform a gig for the sheriff's office. Right? Apparently, this was a thing that happened an awful lot. And we'll get to this later on in the podcast. He's given a furlough to go out and play a gig for like the Sheriff's Ball of America or something. For
an
like
extra pudding at
probably,
dinner.
Yeah, for a jar of lube, whatever, right? And while he's doing the gig, he finishes the gig and he takes a massive banger and has a heart attack and dies. 9 years into his life sentence. So, fair fucks to you. Off you go, you horrible bastard.
He died doing what he loved, apart from murder.
But in jail, yeah. So, yeah, that's...
Listen, lads, this is grim, but this is what you want. Not our fans. This is not what our fans want. Our fans.
Well, maybe a little bit different.
F word.
Yeah. Fans. So he died 1969 is when he died. Mm-hmm. So 1910 to 1969 is as long as Spade Cooley made it. It's a cool little story. It's grim as fuck.
It is grim.
But yeah, like he was in 38 westerns, and he he had 6 top 10 singles in the States. And his wife's name was Ella Mae Evans, which is a very western name as well. But yeah, that's a scumbag. That's a straight up scumbag. 9 years into a life sentence.
Haha, you dead prick.
Yeah. Suck on that death, you big horrible fuck. Who's your next one?
My next one is Brandy.
Brandy.
The R&B star. Another one where I just heard a story that Brandy had killed someone. In your head, you're going, she left the club locked. Yeah. You just make up these things in your head. Because to be honest with you, that's what happens a lot in America. Going to put it out on the line again.
I have often left a club locked.
Yeah, I'm not driven.
Yeah, oh no.
Driving over there. This is, again, I have to put it out there. This is not what we're talking about with this particular one. So we'll go into it. San Diego, 2006, she is driving and she hits into the rear of a Toyota. That car then hits the car in front, hits the divider, spins out in front of traffic and gets hit by another car. And the girl dies, unfortunately. What happened then in the court case, it came out that the California Highway Patrol later reported that the car that she hit had already hit the car in front, creating a stop. So she hadn't obviously left enough distance.
Okay.
Now that's what it came out in. That's why she isn't going to be in trouble. But unfortunately, in America, that's not the end of it.
Yeah.
You will get lawsuits, and she did get lawsuits from. Yeah. They did say that the only thing they found in their system was a very, very, very slight traces of marijuana.
That's it.
That's it.
What are you going to a club for not drinking?
Well, I don't know if she's in a club, actually. No, I was saying that's what happens in other people's things. You hear about them club. I don't think she was even at a club.
Just out. Driving herself.
Yep.
No chauffeur.
No. The car in front, according to the California Highway Patrol, had already hit a car. So that's why the stop. So she...
Wasn't she one of the Disney babies? Matt?
Yeah, I think so. Or she at least did a Disney Cinderella remake movie.
I think she was one of the Disney kids on their channel. She had a different 100%. Name, I think.
Yeah, possibly.
I remember.
She was sued then. It was no charge anyway. It was charged, but there was no conviction. I don't think. She was sued by the parents initially for $50 million, settled out of court. Husband, undisclosed amount, settled out of court. Kids, $300,000 each, settled out of court. That's a lot of money.
That's the end of her.
I don't know if it was. I didn't really keep up Brandy's career after
that. For real? I've got all her records at home.
Do you?
Signed it.
Well, we haven't been mentioning the names.
One of them has a big bloody handprint on it.
Is one of them shaped? No. You're not going to get me to do this. No, you're not. So anyway, we haven't been mentioning the songs because it doesn't really matter.
Not but really,
in this case, we'll say if it matters. The song is called Right Here, and people, I was going to say music kind of researchers and stuff like that. I don't think too many researchers are reading into Brandy stuff. But the song is Right Here, and apparently it is the one that she wrote, maybe sort of about the situation.
Really?
Now, I wouldn't have picked the lyrics just when you think you're about to turn back, scared you might crash. I'll be your ground when you feel your heart's guarded and see the brakes started.
Oh my God.
Wouldn't have went with those.
No.
2 years after that.
No.
But that's just me. Anyway, listen,
stick with little
it does sound...
or whatever.
Yeah, have you ever?
Yeah.
Don't. Listen, I did think that's quite tragic. Now, you know what, that's just going by California state.
California, death car.
There's another kind of tragic one. Obviously, they're all tragic. Jesus Christ, they're all tragic. But for the person involved,